Up until the end of 2023, someone who has lymphedema and Medicare for insurance in the United States had to pay every single penny themselves for their compression garments and supplies. And as we know, having lymphedema is not cheap, with compression garments costing some thousands of dollars a year alone. But thanks to the Lymphedema Advocacy Group and also to all of those who advocated tirelessly to pass the Lymphedema Treatment Act, starting in 2024, Medicare will now cover compression garments and lymphedema supplies. But how much is covered? All of it? Some of it? Well, my name is Kelly. I am a physical therapist and a certified lymphedema therapist. And in this video, I'm going to answer this question and update what the passing of this bill means for those living with lymphedema. It's important to know at the time of this recording in December of 2023, the final details for necessary billing codes and pricing of lymphedema garments and products has not been released by the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services. They also have the option to delay coverage until April 1st, so please know that things are subject to change. And due to this, many vendors who issue compression garments are not able to file or submit claims for these products starting on January 1st as proposed, and will need to wait until these critical details are released by CMS. So please reach out to your vendor or your fitter in your area for next steps. Now, let it be known that I am a physical therapist, so my goal is to break down the main points that my clients or my patients are asking to know. The final rules sent out by the Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services, or CMS, is over 200 pages long with very small print. So we won't be covering every detail here, but I'll link it down below where one can access this information. So the first question is, what is covered? So starting January 1st, 2024, Medicare will pay for standard and custom fit lymphedema compression items for each affected part of the body. So that includes circular knit garments and flat knit garments that are both off the shelf and customized. They also include other compression garments for daytime as well as nighttime, and they will offer different levels of compression as well. They will also cover compression bandaging systems and supplies that are used during phase 1 of treatment, as well as phase 2 or maintenance phases of treatment. Also on the list are gradient compression wraps with adjustable straps, which means Velcro wraps, and other necessary accessories for that gradient compression garment and the wraps. And lastly, this also includes donning aids or assistive devices to get compression garments on and off, as well as different accessories that go on with the garments like zippers, liners, paddings, and more. The next question is, how many garments can you get, or how many are covered under this? So Medicare will cover 3 daytime garments per affected body part every 6 months. So every 6 months, someone's allowed 3 daytime garments that are covered. For nighttime garments, 2 garments every 2 years will be covered for an affected body part. Medicare will also pay for items as needed. So if someone has to replace their garments that because they are lost, stolen, or damaged, or if someone has a change in status or a medical change, maybe their leg increased a lot or maybe their arm went down a lot, that volume change is a potential for a reason to get additional garments as needed during the year. Now that's a great number because we see private insurances cover anywhere from 2 up to 6 plus a year, but a lot average around the 4 range or so. And so having coverage for up to 6 daytime garments a year is great because we know that garments last about 4 to 6 months on average before you need a new one. And it's nice to have one to wash versus wear on and off. And so that should cover a full year as long as we're taking care of those garments. Now the next question is, how much of the cost is covered? Will Medicare cover all of it? Well, this follows in a similar way to other medical service under Medicare. So in 2024, someone with Medicare will pay their deductible first, And then Medicare will cover 80% and someone would pay 20% of the cost for whatever service that is. So in 2024, the deductible for Medicare is set at $240 for Part B deductibles. After someone pays this amount for their year, then typically one pays 20% of the Medicare approved services, and in this case, it's the compression items. Now, along with that, some have various supplemental insurances on top of Medicare, and because that can get really individualized, it's best to reach out to your insurance company for details on further coverage. But what that means is some individuals may have even more support or more coverage overall for their compression items. The other great thing about this situation is that some private insurances don't cover as well, and so the hope or the goal is that Medicare sets the standard to make sure that those private insurance that are not supporting this will then follow suit. So next, what do you need to qualify for this coverage? At this time, you must have a prescription or an order from your doctor or your medical provider, along with a diagnosis of lymphedema. Unfortunately, at this time, other medical diagnoses are not included, including lymphedema, in this qualification. You will not be able to retroactively get covered as well for anything ordered or claims that were made prior to January 1st, 2024. They will only be covered starting on that date and after. And lastly, where do you need to go to get these items? Specific to garments and accessories, you will need to work with a vendor who is eligible to supply these. So Medicare has their vendors, facilities, fitters, and others be accredited as well as enrolled as a durable medical equipment, prosthetics, orthotics, and supplies supplier. So that's a lot. But at the end of the day, they need to be enrolled as someone who can give you these garments or supply them to you. So if you were unsure if your local vendor is, you will want to reach out to them directly. And to finish, I want to once again say a massive thank you to the Lymphedema Advocacy Group for their work over the years, along with each person who wrote a letter, called their representatives, showed up to Capitol Hill, shared their stories, and so many others. You are all the reason for this change, which also has the potential to shape coverage for private insurances to give even more individuals the medical support that they need to live with and beyond lymphedema.